So we have another Devin Townsend live album coming at us, and this one is coming off of the release of Empath, so it's more of a Devin Townsend, just his own solo work as opposed to a Devin Townsend project. And with that, we come into a whole new reworking of the band. And yeah, let's dive in and talk about this one.
If you're saying in your mind, you're better off dead.
Order of Magnitude, Empath Live Volume 1 by Devin Townsend. So I wonder if that means that we're going to get a Volume 2 anytime soon. So before we even get into this one, this actually was the last live concert that I went to. Now, not this one specifically, the one that was in Toronto back in February. After that, everything was shut down. So that still is the last live venue that I went to. So I got a lot of the feels from this one, I'll tell you that much. There was a lot of moments that I was just like, oh man, I remember when. It was like a lifetime ago. But yeah, here we are. So we have a new live album from Devin. This is his fourth or fifth since the Retinal Circus. So he has Retinal Circus, Ziltoid Live, Ocean Machine Live, and now Order of Magnitude. And then he has his whole By a Thread, which is still probably my favorite one of his. And then I guess there's also Unplugged. But yeah, Order of Magnitude. First off, the personnel that's on here is just brilliant. And I mean, Devin is the main orchestrator. He's the main visionary of this project. I really want to shout out, and I'm going to try my best with her name, Chi Emi Dorval. She's the backup singer or lead singer. I don't even want to say backup because she's kind of center stage within this. She's doing all the women's singing on this, and her essence, not even just her vocal works, but her presence and essence on this breathes such a fun life on here. I mean, we've already seen the clip from Genesis. She's bouncing around and having a grand old time. That energy is what is needed for this music that's being played here. And I love whenever she's taking the microphone because her voice is straight from the heavens. I can't praise her enough for what she is bringing to the table in providing the vocal works for Devin. And I mean, Devin has employed quite a number of powerhouses. Anna von Huschenberger has the legacy behind her. And I feel like Chi is able to just stand toe to toe and elevate the music just as much as Anek does. So brilliant stuff from Chi. We also have Diego from Haken on keyboards. Haken was able to lend the talents of Diego, and damn, his work on the keyboards is just brilliant. Loving what he's able to do behind the keys and behind the set there. Such great stuff there. We also have Mike Canali. He comes with such a prodigious, I think that's the word I'm going for, session guitarist. He has worked with greats in the past, and so he's bringing just a brilliant essence and a brilliant flow to Devin's works and Devin's writing. Nathan Navarro on bass does a great work of providing such a great grounding for the tracks on there, and Morgan Argin on drums. His drumming is fantastic, and he has quite the shoes to fill from the Devin Townsend project. But his ability to just hammer and blast beats as well as take things somber and be more of a provider of, I guess, ambience. And then we have Marcus Rutler on ambient guitars, and he's able to blend and jive, especially on some of the smaller pieces that we have on Gig Pig, Jam, and Coast, and Gato. These three tracks, really brilliant work. And then rounding this all off, we have three brilliant women providing backup vocals to Chi. We have Samantha Pierce, Anne Preece, they might be sisters, and Arabella Peckford. And these three women are brilliant at providing a great atmosphere that sounds like a full chorus with just the three of them. So brilliant musician works, brilliant talent that Devin has on stage. And throughout the set, Devin continuously says how honored he is to work with these musicians, and really he should be, because this talent is giant magnitude. And so, like, it's not kidding when he's saying order of magnitude, because there's some great talent on here. The other thing that I really want to emphasize and bring about is kind of the stage performance and stage presence that this album and show has. It's very strapped down and it's very bare bones, so it allows the music to really breathe light. There's not, those big characters that are running around on stage like we had from Ziltoid or from the Retinal Circus. There's not the big fireworks or big light show that we had from the Ocean Machine. It's very strapped down, so it allows the music to take center stage. And I mean, I love the fact that both Chi and Devin come out near the midpoint in these brilliant, like, dresses and skirts. And I'm a skirt guy. Like, I will wear skirts whenever the mood strikes me properly, especially when I go out dancing. Like, there are pictures of me dancing in skirts that I'm not ashamed of. I love the feeling of being in a skirt and dancing around. And I love the fact that Devin, even though it's kind of tongue-in-cheek and kind of, playing it off as play pretend, but it really is fun. It's very infectious. Like, it's such a fun atmosphere, and seeing Devin almost normalize it in that sense does my heart joy. So, talking about the actual music, I've already mentioned Gig Pig Jam, Coast. I love Gato from Kai. Like, the fact that he does a number of tracks from Kai, and those first couple of tracks from the beginning of Kai just makes me so happy, because Kai is one of my favorite Devin Townsend projects. Near that stop part of the song, he just starts talking to the audience. He's like, I had this really great dream last night. I can't even remember it. Everybody's getting sick, and that's just how it is. And then the band just boom, hits it right back and practically interrupts him. Love that. I also love during Why, the big track where, Devin is really soaring his vocal works on there, where the audience is going to sing Let Me Go Home, and Devin's like, oh, you never want to come too soon, folks. And he makes them all beep by putting their hand on their head and jumping up and down. I thought that was really, really fun and just infectious as well. Like, that track of Why is just extremely infectious. Like, all the tracks on here are just dripping with so much joy and so much good vibes, because that's one thing that Devin goes throughout the set. He's saying, we're inundated with depression, especially now, like in this new world that we're finding ourselves in, the amount of like depression and unenthusiasms and just melancholy is swept us through. And this beacon of brightness that he has ushered forth is just exactly what we needed, especially on Spirits Will Collide. There were a couple of times on Spirits Will Collide where I was like really getting emotional. It's very strapped down. It's not the big blast beats that we had on the studio album. It's very acoustic. It's just him and the guitar and Chi singing it. And it's so heartfelt that, again, I was finding myself getting very emotional, because I didn't realize this was going to be a very personal review, but like, I struggle with mental health. I struggle with depression. I know what it's like to have those dark cloud days where the absolute most you can do is pick yourself out of bed because you gotta go to the bathroom. And even that is a task. So I get it. And like, getting that kind of recognition and empathy is so heartfelt and so well needed. I love that. And of course we have Kingdom being the final track, and I mean, I'm not a big fan of Kingdom, but I appreciate it here being the encore. But man, Disco Inferno being the first comeback, I loved. Like, I'm really finding myself getting into disco lately. Like, Diana Summers was the soundtrack outside of 6 of my summer. So yeah, I love the fact that it kind of ends with Disco Inferno and Kingdom. So yeah, overall, this is a great piece. This is a great live album from a brilliant artist. I love what he does on this. I love that it's a mini vacation. I love that it's not over the top, but it's so very grounded. And by being so, it's much more personal and much more one-on-one. His ability to connect with the audience and be a perfect showman is just another evidence to the course. And the talent that he has on stage is breathtaking. So Yeah, this is one that I love with my whole heart. I really do. It'll be in my collection once it is released in physical format. I loved it. 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 So yeah, go and check it out. What did you guys think about this album? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What did you guys think of Devin Townsend's Order of Magnitude? Let me know by commenting down below. Check out my podcast, Quid Prog Quo, wherever you can find your podcasts. Leave some nice comments and nice reviews, because I'm having a blast doing that. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, you guys are definitely the best. And until next time, notes out.